what it looks like transporting the Inspire 2. And this is what it looks like with the Mavic Air. Mavic Air versus the Inspire. I mean, we're talking about a really expensive, large, not portable drone like this versus something like this. This comparison is not intended at all to make either drone seem like it's the only option or the best option for all people. It's literally just something I figured I'd take advantage of simply because I have them both. Oh, you see that?
That was a nice
How
catch.
about that? So first, let's talk about getting it ready to fly. This is how long it takes the Mavic Air to get ready to do its thing. Open, you put the phone into the controller, the cable's built in, ready to go. Pick up the antennas, you open the Mavic case. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're ready to fly. So it's pretty quick, pretty quick. Now, the Inspire, on the other hand, I will say the case that I have here is designed for what they call ready to fly mode, or I believe, I don't know what they call it. But whole point being, this is a very large case because it actually allows me to keep it kind of ready to rock, so I can take it out and only have to put props on. That's a huge advantage to me because if you take it out of landing mode, you have to take the gimbal off, you have to put the gimbal away, you have to do a lot of things that make it not as convenient. This case, while very big, very bulky, it is very quick to actually put this together, unlike the other cases. So it's as simple as opening it up, taking it out, ready to rock there, and all you gotta do is put props on, which is as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4. So for a drone being as massive as it is, pretty good setup. The controllers, obviously much bigger. Requires a cable that is not permanently attached, which I kind of can keep attached if I want. Big, huge difference in size. Huge difference in portability. That goes in my backpack. That is a little too large for the backpack. When it comes to cameras, night and day difference. Micro Four Thirds sensor. This is actually the same size sensor as what is on my GH5. It can have different lenses. This is a 15 millimeter 1.7, so it's the equivalent of a 30. I also can put a 50 millimeter on it. It just gives tons of flexibility. The Mavic Air, obviously fixed lens, fixed gimbal, no sort of adjustments. You just basically use what's on it. So let us get the Mavic up in the air here. Now, one thing about the Mavic is a fixed focus, fixed lens, so there's no sort of ever having to tap the focus. It's very similar to kind of what the Phantom 3 did back in the day. The Mavic Pro actually was more of a tap the focus, which I didn't really like because it would actually have a lot of things that missed focus, and it really didn't have any depth of field anyway, so it kind of seemed pointless to me. But this is fixed focus, so there's zero tapping of focus, everything's always in focus, and I kind of, for a quick drone, actually prefer that because I found myself constantly missing focus with other things, and that's not really what I want to worry about. The Inspire, on the other hand, that's crazy shallow depth of field if you want it, so you really got to be careful. So here we go. So one thing without question that I definitely noticed with the Mavic, and I know I've read about this a little bit as well, but the range from the Mavic is significantly less. And I understand that. The antennas are smaller on it, the remote antennas are smaller, so I know that that's kind of part of it. But I think they claim it's 2.5 miles or something of range, but I would be absolutely shocked if you get anywhere near there, unless you're in the middle of Montana and there's zero people or civilization near you. That's okay for kind of what I would use the drone for, to the most part, but something to keep in mind. Luckily, it has obviously return to home and all that, which is an amazing thing because you don't have to worry about it too much. I still, for the most part, just use my phone. If we were doing an all-day job and doing lots of drone stuff, I would use an iPad, but for this stuff, I tend to not to. Let's get her going here. Such a monster. It's so awesome. When you first start flying the Inspire, it's like somewhat scary, not from the standpoint of that it's hard to fly, but more of the standpoint of it's obviously a lot of money that you have in the air. But there's also almost the other side of it too, that I feel like I trust the Inspire more than any other drone because of just its raw capability. Just the fact that it has even better sensors, it has even better just overall just stability. I feel like when you're flying it, it's this weird feeling, even though you just have a remote in your hand, there's this natural sense of just, it's so under control. It's almost like when you drive a really big car, like those big Audi A8s, the boats, it just kind of gets this feeling that it's just looks really, it's just smooth. So here we go, same shot. So what you're looking at now are the steel stacks, which actually were part of the opening scene of the Transformers 2 movie, which I've talked about in my vlog before, but they're pretty awesome looking. Pretty cool that they were able to manage to keep them existing. So right now I'm about 1,600 feet out and not a single drop whatsoever in interference, in vision. It's just night and day difference in terms of range, which should be. We're talking 8 times the cost here. So by no means in anything that I'm doing here will I try to discredit the Mavic for those kind of things, because I'd be kind of disappointed if I spent the amount of money I did for this and had the same quality. All right, so now we're gonna just try tracking mode, which active track, for the most part, should be identical on both. There should not be like a better than the other. But what this one does is that APAS mode, so it'll be interesting to see if it is better because of that. But I'm gonna have you stand right here and just film this and let this follow me in a circle and come back. So give it a shot. Okay, so this is me not touching the controller at all, holding the controller just for the sake of just in case. Here we go. Pretty good.
Not bad?
Yeah, good. stop that short because I didn't want to scare the dog, but it was doing great. The reason I was looking back at it more is I don't want to, just for the sake of having a fun test, run it into the trees. The only thing you got to watch in any of these tracking modes is the fact that it'll see big obstacles without any problem whatsoever, but little tiny branches and things, the things that could possibly just completely derail the flight, it sometimes doesn't see those that well, so I'm just always cautious of that. But they both work. The Inspire actually has to be further away, which I noticed because of how it uses the camera, because it's more of a 30mm lens, it has to be further away from the subject to actually track it, because it has to have it a certain like bit in frame. So it was kind of higher than the other one needed to be, which was why I was a little bit more cautious of it hitting trees, because there's a lot of trees. But it still is the same tracking mode. The Inspire has sensors on the top, bottom, front, and back, which is awesome. And the Mavic Air has front, back, and bottom. This also has top, which is really nice because when you're flying underneath something, it'll detect the top as well and kind of keep its balance, which is really nice to have. So what have we learned about this Inspire 2 versus Mavic Air comparison? Well, like I said in the beginning of this video, this really didn't have a real purpose. The Inspire 2 is not supposed to compete with the Mavic Air and vice versa. They are entirely different drones for entirely different people and situations. I think the awesome thing that I brought out of this is the fact that the Mavic Air for $800 is an incredible little drone. The image quality from it is outstanding, and yes, if we punch into 300%, the Inspire 2 is better in all terms of quality and sharpness and in dynamic range and everything. It's a better drone, which it should be for the cost. But I think that should not discourage you at all, that if you're flying a Mavic Air or even a Phantom 4, which obviously is even better than the Mavic Air, you have an outstanding drone. Now, the one thing to know about the Inspire 2 is that there are tons of things outside of just straight up image quality that make this a drone that no other drone can actually compete with. Being able to operate it with 2 different controllers and being able to get a 360 view entirely, where the drone can continue a really natural flight and you can have the camera turn and look the opposite direction to get these really outstanding shots that you can't get with a Phantom 4 or a Mavic unless you are doing some sort of 360 rotation and then you're going backwards. It's not easy. There are other things about the Inspire 2, like having RAW capability, where you can plug in SSDs and record RAW in incredible quality, which really matches up with your cinema cameras that you're using, like Reds or Aries or all those things. There is a reason that this drone is used on a film set, not just because of a Micro Four Thirds camera, but the comparison I was showing you is a very compressed image built in on the micro SD card, which is not nearly the capability of what the actual SSD's RAW capability can do. So by no means did I even show you the full capability of the Inspire 2, but that wasn't the point of it. The point is there's a huge use for something like the Inspire 2 if you are someone in the market for a really high-end aerial drone that has incredible and limitless capabilities. Something to really keep in mind, being able to fly in near freezing and below freezing temperatures and extreme heat. It just can last in a lot of environments that nothing else could. If you're in an environment with crazy wind, the Inspire 2 is going to handle it without any problem whatsoever and just give you rock solid footage. There's a lot of things that make it better. But the point of this review is more to just show you straight up comparison in a non-technical way. What's the cameras look like? What are the main things that separate these two drones? But whether you have the Mavic Air for $799 or you have the Inspire 2, which is around $7,000, the point is DJI is doing some incredible things. These are amazing drones. The technology we have in our hands is just ridiculous. And I'm just excited to own 2 of these pieces of gear, but I'm even more excited to know like what the future holds for drones and this capability in general. The fact that we can fly these cameras with the capabilities that they have is just ridiculous. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. If this is your first time here, would you consider subscribing, liking this video, comment below, tell me you're new here. Hopefully this review was as fun to watch as it was for me to make. I want to do more of these, so if you have any good ideas of some videos you'd like to see that are outside of my daily vlogs, would love to hear from you. I will see you tomorrow.